You've met someone special, and everything just flows. The conversations are effortless, the laughter is genuine, and for the first time in a long while, it feels like you've met someone who really sees you. You're vibing on the same frequency, her energy matches yours, and the connection seems real. It's exciting, hopeful, even you start to picture what it might be like to build something meaningful with her. Maybe you haven't felt this way in a long time, or maybe it's the first time you've ever felt it at all. Either way, it feels good. But then, out of nowhere, the dynamic shifts. The warmth fades. Her replies get shorter. The enthusiasm you used to see in her texts and conversations starts to disappear. Plans become harder to make. The energy changes and you can feel it in your gut. You sit there wondering what happened. Did you say something wrong? Were you too available? Too eager? Not eager enough? You start replaying every detail, every message, every interaction, trying to crack some invisible code. The silence feels loud. That anxious tension creeps in, the feeling that you're losing something that was never fully yours, but felt like it could be. And the worst part, you don't know why. That's the trap so many guys fall into. The overthinking, the second guessing, the internal spiral that makes you question your worth. You start feeling like you did something wrong, and in that frantic search for answers, you risk making all the wrong moves. Here's the hard truth. It's a test. Not necessarily from her, but from life. This is the moment that separates men who lead from men who chase. Because how you handle this situation reveals a lot more about you than it does about her. And that's exactly where your power lies. When a woman starts to pull back, most guys immediately assume it's something they did wrong. That's a natural reaction. We're wired to look for cause and effect, especially when something feels like it's slipping away. But the reality is, there are several reasons why a woman might become distant, and many of them have nothing to do with you at all. Sometimes, she's going through her own emotional storms. Maybe she's stressed about work, dealing with family drama, questioning her own goals, or simply feeling emotionally overwhelmed. People have their own inner battles, and while it's easy to internalize someone else's withdrawal, you have to remind yourself, not everything is about you. Other times, she might be uncertain about the connection. It doesn't mean she doesn't like you, it just means she's trying to process how she feels. She could be comparing her current emotions to past experiences, wondering if she's ready for something serious, or sensing a shift in her own expectations. And yes, sometimes, she's pulling back to see how you respond. Call it a test if you want, but it's not necessarily a game. It's more like a subconscious scan to see if you stay grounded when things aren't perfect. If you freak out, bombard her with texts, or demand answers, it sends the message that your confidence is conditional, and that makes her feel less safe around you, not more. The truth is, women are incredibly intuitive. They can pick up on energy shifts even before you say a word. If you're feeling desperate, anxious, or unsteady, she'll feel it, and that often amplifies the distance. On the flip side, if you remain composed and confident, she's far more likely to feel secure and attracted to your presence again. Your ability to hold your frame during uncertainty is what sets you apart. When she starts pulling away, your instincts scream at you to fix it, to reach out, to explain, to do something. It feels like the harder you try, the more distant she becomes. That's where most guys fall into the first and most common trap: chasing. You start texting more, trying to get her attention, asking if she's okay, or suggesting meetups just to talk things out. But here's the problem: when you chase, you flip the dynamic. You send the message that her pulling back has thrown you off balance, and that makes her feel like she's in control of the emotional tone. Attraction isn't built through desperation, it's built through stability. And chasing rarely makes her feel more secure. It often makes her feel pressured. Then there's the mental spiral. Overthinking is like quicksand. You replay every conversation in your head, scrutinizing her words, trying to find some hidden meaning. You analyze the emojis she used, the delay in her replies, the tone of her "hey," and the more you obsess, the more your self-confidence starts to erode. You start to question yourself, your worth, your actions, your presence. That energy of self-doubt seeps into your interactions, and whether she's consciously aware of it or not, she feels it. Another big mistake. Losing yourself in the process. You make her emotional shift the center of your universe. You cancel your plans, stop hitting the gym, skip out on what makes you feel alive, all to focus on trying to bring her back. But the irony is, those very things, your passion, your independence, your drive, were probably what attracted her to you in the first place. When you abandon your own life to chase hers, you send the signal that you've lost your center, and that's when you stop being magnetic and start becoming invisible. So what should you do when she starts acting distant? First and foremost, you have to resist the urge to panic. That emotional jolt you feel, the anxiety, the pressure to fix things immediately, is natural, but acting on it will almost always make things worse. Instead, you have to train yourself to pause, take a breath. Don't flood her inbox with "Are you okay?" messages. Don't try to force a conversation about what's wrong. Don't suddenly show up with flowers or write a long emotional message hoping to win her back. Those are reactive moves. And in this situation, reacting emotionally puts you on the back foot. What you need to do is respond with calm and confidence. Imagine you're a rock in the middle of a storm. That grounded energy, that unshakable presence, that's what creates attraction. You can't control how she feels or what she's going through, but you can control how you show up. And how you show up during uncertainty says everything about who you are. Focus on yourself, not in a fake way, like pretending you don't care, but in a real, intentional way. Get back to the things that fuel you. Hit the gym not to impress her, but because it sharpens your mindset. Dive into your work, your hobbies, your goals, not to distract yourself, but to remind yourself of your purpose. And yes, keep your social life alive. Spend time with friends, meet new people, have conversations. You don't need to jump into dating someone new, but you do need to remind yourself that your world is full of options and opportunities. That abundance mindset is powerful. It shifts your energy from needing her validation to owning your worth. And ironically, it's that shift away from chasing that often reignites her attraction. But even if it doesn't, you've already started to win. At the heart of all of this lies one crucial concept: your frame. Your frame is your emotional foundation. It's the mindset, energy, and presence you bring into every interaction. It's how you carry yourself, how you react under pressure, and how solid you remain when things don't go your way. When a woman pulls back, most guys unknowingly hand over their frame. They let her emotional state dictate their own. They lose their calm, their confidence, and their direction, and that's exactly when everything starts to crumble. But a high-value man holds his frame. He doesn't chase validation or react to every shift in someone else's mood. He stays grounded, centered, and composed. Think about a pilot flying through turbulence. Passengers might grip their seats, panic a little, or even start to fear the worst. But when the captain calmly announces over the intercom, "We're experiencing a bit of turbulence," but everything's under control. It instantly puts people at ease. That's the effect of a strong frame. It brings stability to chaos. In relationships, it's the same. When things get emotionally bumpy, your job isn't to panic and ask for constant reassurance, it's to be the emotional anchor. That's what women find safe, attractive, and magnetic. A man who doesn't get shaken by a little turbulence. When you master this, everything changes. You become the calm in her storm. She might still be unsure or confused, but your composure gives her something to trust. And even if she doesn't come back, you've won something greater, your self-respect. Because this isn't just about her. It's about you leading your life with purpose, clarity, and strength. That's what makes you rare. That's what makes you stand out. And whether she realizes it now or later, your grounded energy is unforgettable.